Knuckle Boxing returns to Wolverhampton, England on Saturday, March 22nd for BYB 38, Wolves Brawl 2. Headlined by the long-awaited rematch between champion LT Smash Nelson and Birmingham's James the Truth Kennelly for the BYB Super Middleweight Police Gazette Diamond Belt. Catch all the hard-hitting action live from the hangar. Visit BYBExtreme.com for tickets and information.
Welcome to the Original Fighter's Voice. I'm your host, Don McGuire. I'm stoked about today. You know, I don't often get to interview my brothers and mates and pals from across the pond. Today's a special day for me and Steve because we have the Cockroach on, Mr. Ryan Barrett. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you.
What's up,
You know, I've watched your career, and, you know, I sat back because I'm a veteran myself, and I know you were a Royal Marine. What was it like for you to step out of the military and get this thought in your head that you wanted to kind of convey yourself not only into sports but into bare knuckle?
Well, I was medically discharged with I got an ulcerative colitis, which is a chronic bowel disease. So I would have never left the military. I absolutely loved it. But I laid in a hospital bed thinking about how I could fight again, obviously with a colostomy bag. I thought I wouldn't be able to box professional, I wouldn't be able to box amateur. And then I seen Eric Olsen obviously fighting bare knuckle, and I thought I contacted him straight away. I messaged him, I said, listen, you probably get loads of messages from loads of weirdos saying they're going to fight in bare knuckle, but as soon as I'm out of hospital, can I come and train with you? And he kind of laughed and said, yeah, when you're well, come. And I did. I went and trained with him at Fitness Factory, him, Ricky Nolder, Dan Podmore, and that's where it started.
You know, I have to take my hat off for you, pal, because I've been through a lot in life. I just had my second cervical spine surgery, which is, it's tearing me down. I can't even imagine. Take me through that walk, because I was in your situation at one time. I was on a feeding tube for 17 years, and part of it broke off and lodged down in my intestines, and they told me I was going to have to wake up with a colostomy. And I jumped off the gurney, and I said, no, I'm not. I'm going to go out the way the good Lord brought me. What was it in the heart, the mind, and the perseverance of Ryan Barrett that had to push forward?
It was just for me. I thought, right, I've lost my identity as a Royal Marine. I've lost my identity as a boxer. I thought everyone was saying I was delusional. I was in denial. That I needed to face reality. And I just thought, my reality is between my ears. And for me, I elected to have the colostomy bag external rather than internal, so that if there was ever a chance of fighting, I would be able to. And in my experience, my opinion on me is always right, and everyone else is always wrong. And I've proved that to be the case with this as well.
I love your ideology and the way you think, mate. You know, it's funny because I've been in this industry for a long time, like I already told you. And I watched bare knuckle for many years across the pond. You know, since you're from over there, and I want to just get your perception, because everybody's perception is different. When bare knuckle became legal in the States, did it add much relevance to you guys over the pond, considering bare knuckle had already been, you know, in the works for 10 plus years, forever?
Not really, to be honest. I think only when this big names started joining in getting involved did people even take any notice of it. But I think people still now, I think the better quality and more experienced bare knuckle fighters are from the UK. But obviously now people in America are coming across professional boxers, professional MMA fighters, making the transition over and rivaling a lot of the better English people. So I think if you're a professional boxer or a professional MMA fighter and you're someone who likes the idea of the gloves coming off, then you're going to be somebody who can make a transition to the sport, and we're seeing that more and more now.
Yeah. You know, I remember in the early days, everybody was saying the hardest part for you guys was going to be the extra minute in the rounds and the dirty clinch. I think you guys have successfully conquered that. I think you guys have proven that you're well capable of that aspect. I want to take you back to one of your early outings with Richie Samuels. What did that fight mean to you? Because I did a little bit of research on that fight, and I would like to hear it from your words. I know what you said publicly, but what did it mean to you internally, on for the fans and the people that watched that fight and cared about enough?
The fight before that, I believe I was given as to be an opponent for Barrett, my opponent, and I didn't realise it was a British title eliminator. And when I found out it really pissed me off. And I thought, I mean, you think you're going to turn up, come down from heavyweight and beat me? No way. And obviously, I knocked him out spectacularly in 36 seconds. And then for me and my coach, I just think everyone had written me off. Everyone thought I was finished. And that was kind of like a fuck you. Like, I'm going to win this British title, and then I'm going to be a problem for everybody again. Because when I won the British title the first time, it was beating people no one expected me to beat. And then it's kind of like, oh no, now we've got to give him the shot. And I think that was down to the fact I wasn't living right and dedicating myself to the sport, but I am now. And that's why I'm in this position again now. And when I win this fight.
Oh, he froze on us.
Yeah, it's
You know, it intrigues me. When he comes back, I'm sure he'll come back in a second. It intrigues me because actually this is the first fighter that I've heard in the sport, and I've been around for a long time, that has ever actually fought with a colostomy.
Yeah.
There he is. We got him back. You must have got a phone call, huh, mate?
I don't know what happened then.
Well, I'm gonna let Steve Rothman. I'm gonna let him go ahead and pick up with the questioning, and because I don't want to steal all the mic. We're going to be on here for a minute. So, Steve, go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So, how do you feel you match up against Kevin Greenwood in bare knuckle?
Boxers, and he's probably a better glove boxer than me. But I believe the advantage and the experience.
Yeah. How do you think he matches up, Don?
I think it's going to be a great fight, but it's kind of hard. See, this is the thing people don't understand. When we do live shows, we're doing a live show with somebody from over the pond in the UK.
Yeah.
And I could sit here and record these and cut them down, but then the fans don't get to enjoy and play a part of the show.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure he'll be on in a second. Let me I'll just remove him from the stage right now, so that way he knows. My brother Bill Stacks. Hey, bro, you do live shows. You know exactly how this is. There's nothing you can do about it. You try to do the best. You try to make things happen. But, sometimes Wi-Fi, internet, whatever it may be, doesn't want to work your way. But, it's a good thing we can sit it. He's back already. We're going to go ahead and get him back on here. And hey, mate, you don't got to worry about anything happening. It's a live show. When things happen, I'm not going to do a pre-scripted show. I'm just not, because
cool.
Because we're live, and like he said, expect the unexpected on a live show. Well, everybody wants to do these pre-recorded shows and make them perfect. That's not life. That's not reality, man. And they take away of a lot of your intent.
It won't be with me, because if it's something to do with me, there will definitely be a fuck up somewhere. So,
hey, life isn't perfect anyway. But as before, I'm gonna let my brother Steve pick up, and go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So I had asked. I don't know if you heard it, but I wanted to know how you feel you're matching up against Kevin Greenwood.
Yeah, I think Kev is probably a better glove boxer than me, much more experienced, but the experience in bare knuckle goes with me. I've had 10 professional bare knuckle fights, 6 of which have been for titles, 4 British title fights and 2 world title fights. And the 2 world title fights I've had, albeit I've lost, I've got a lot of world title round experience now and a lot of British title round experience. And I've been in against the 4-time world champion, Podmore, twice. Yeah, I've came up short, but I believe failure in boxing is the secret route to success. And I think some people will be a happy runner-up, happy to have challenged for a title twice. That's not me. I've took from those losses, and you're going to see the difference in this fight now.
Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah. So me and Don were just talking that we hadn't heard of a boxer or a bare knuckle fighter fighting with a bag. Does that, like, do you protect it? Is it behind you? Like, where?
No, so it's on the front of your stomach. So there wasn't one. When I fought first on lockdown 1, I didn't tell Jim, I didn't tell Joe, I didn't tell anybody. So I sold all the pay-per-views, and then only at the weigh-in when I took my top off, were they like, "What's that?" And I thought, it's too late now. I've sold how many pay-per-views? You got to let me fight. And obviously, I won that. I knocked Matthew Hodgson out in 7 seconds. So they kind of had to let me fight then. And then after then, I had Ricardo Franco, who was a world champion at the time. He was in hospital and he seen me fight with a colostomy bag. So I believe there's only me and him in the world of combat sports who fight with a colostomy bag.
Wow. So
and I'm the only person who's won a title ever with a colostomy bag. And I've won. I've not just won one. I've won 2 British titles with a colostomy bag. The only person to have won a title.
Wow. And did you have a review with any commission that?
No.
Did you show up?
I didn't tell anybody. I turned up thinking they were going to say, no, you can't fight with that. And Jim just said to me, if you're happy to, crack on.
Yeah, it's amazing how you could do this.
I just think I know I've got it. I know the conditions that come with it, and I choose to still get in with knowing that it's not an excuse for me. I know that's there. I know the permutations it can have, and I think I choose to still get in anyway. I got in against Bradley Scott. I had a broken right hand, and I still chose to get in and still believed I'd win. Obviously, I got that wrong, but I still believed I was going to win with a broken right hand. That's how I am. That's how I'm wired up. I'm not an athlete. I'm different.
You're a killer.
He's a straight killer, bro. If you look at some of the fighters that he's fought in bare knuckle.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Hodgson. I know Anthony Holmes.
Yep.
I know Pod. I mean, he's fought some of the greatest fighters in the world in bare knuckle, and he still continues to thrive. You know, this is what I love about the sport of bare knuckle. It's a man's sport. I mean, women are coming into it now, and they're doing a great aspect to the sport of bare knuckle. But what I really love is you guys coming in from the UK, coming over here to the United States, and creating a worldwide correlation. What did it mean for you to see backyard brawls incorporate BKB and then move forward back into the future as BKB? What did it mean for you people over the pond?
Well, I can only speak for me, but for me, this is about the fights. And for me being a champion, if I'm not good enough to be a champion, then I can live with that. But I can't live with not facing the best. And that's what my journey in BKB has been about. And then as soon as it was opened up, then the talent pool was opened up in America, then I was like really licking my lips, because I fought everyone here. The only person I've not beat really is Pod. And I think I'll get another chance at Pod. And hopefully there'll be some other people who will come to the forefront now that I can set my sights on trying to fight them. Like I got offered to fight with Trilio, and I accepted that. And that was going to be what a fight that would have been. We took that straight away, but Florida Athletic State Commission wouldn't allow me to fight with a colostomy bag. So that's the sort of person I am, and that's what I'm in this for. I'm not here for T-shirts and pictures with girls. I'm here to put myself against the best and see where we rank. And I think if Podmore's ranked as probably one of the best heavyweights, cruiserweights of recent times, I don't think I'm far behind.
I don't think you are either, mate. You know, and man, I think you guys are just. It could be either one of your night. You know when you got two fighters that are they're both well versed. And that's
I've
what I
just
tell
got to.
people.
I've just got to say, exactly right. I totally agree with you there. We are both and we're both very similar. The Pomeroy's just got the bit more experience where I've had him hurt in both fights, and he's managed to recover. He's had me hurt, and I wasn't able to. So, yeah, but he's got more experience than me at that world title level, and that's why he's been the champion, and I've not been. And that's as simple as that. He's number one, but I believe I'm number two.
Oh, I'm not going to disagree with you, mate. But what I'm getting at is, it's like the thing I love about bare knuckle, because I was in boxing. I started in boxing or 41 years ago, So it's one thing I love
Yeah.
about the bare knuckle. I've been in MMA, everything, but bare knuckle, the fight can change on a dime. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
on
it's
a split
brilliant, isn't it?
second. All it takes is
It's
one punch.
brilliant.
We've seen that a
Yeah.
multiplicity of times. And your last fight, man, with Pod, you know what? I would love to see another one. So Mel
So would
Valenzuela,
I.
whoever, Jim,
So would I.
Joe, yeah, make this happen because they did it for Anthony Holmes when he was with the BKB. They gave him five title shots back to back, and he came out with a draw with Chad Kelly on the last one. So why can't
Yep.
why can't we just do the same for you? I'd love to see
Yep.
a rematch with Big
No,
Pod.
I think Kev's obviously. I think
What's that,
so as
mate?
well. And Kev's obviously ranked number one. Kev's obviously ranked number one in the world at the minute. So I believe if I beat Kev, that puts me in a position to challenge the world title again. And I know Pod would be up for it as well. And I think I'm the only person like Pod in our weight division. And I think if you put me and him in the same ring, the same thing will happen. The only thing I can do to change the outcome is change what I do. And I'm learning. I'm gathering information each time.
Right, Ryan. When was like the first time you saw bare knuckle fight in UK?
In hospital. So I was laid in hospital when I was watching. I watched Eric Olsen, and I was fascinated by him. Ricky Nelder, Pod. So they're the sort of people I sat and watched. I watched Anthony Holmes fight because I thought, right, what's my weight class?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the British title. Who's got the British title? And I see Anthony Holmes, and I thought, fuck's sake, he looks like someone who would be an hard night against me. And I ended up fighting him in my second fight, and he beat me. But that's the power of like the art of suggestion. I sat there in hospital, and about a year or so later, I was fighting the person that was sat watching in hospital.
Yeah.
And I've done that over and over in my life. I'm the only person who's been through raw means training twice, 10 years apart. And everybody told me I wouldn't be able to do that. Every single person. And I've proved them wrong. And it's going to be the same with this. I don't care how many attempts I have to have at winning the title. I will win one. I will be a world champion before this is done. End of story.
I love that, man. I respect your walk, and I do. It's kind of weird that they call you the Cockroach. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but you're inspiring me. You really inspire me because you don't know my life story. You kind of heard parts and bits and pieces. Steve knows it. I've been through hell and back. Was given 3% chance of making it off the table January 17th with my latest cervical spine fusion. But I always look forward. It's like, tell me I can't do something and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Is that the same walk for the Cockroach?
The thing for me is I think if you accept everything that you're told by people who are experts on whatever, they're not experts on me. And I think the misery of whatever circumstance you may be in, having the hope that you can get out of that, it removes you from it. And the more that you focus on that rather than feeling sorry for yourself in your current scenario, you end up gravitating towards the hope rather than the misery. And I think I've spent my whole life doing that, and that's been my blueprint for success. Like you only don't succeed when you quit. And I've proved that right with everything I've ever done in my life. And this won't be any different.
Yeah, man, I love your walk, mate. A couple people have commented on here. I'm not going to get too many comments because of the issues that we're having, and I don't want to have them blown off the show again. But a brother of mine that has a podcast here in the States is called Chatting with Stacks. He was referring to you fighting with a colostomy. He said, that's insane, and congratulations. Mate, I want to add to that because, like I said, I know what it is to conquer, overcome, and persevere. And you're the poster child for that, mate, because even if I was to get 100% better and they would let me fight with a prosthetic, I still wouldn't step in that
Mm,
damn Trigon. You're
mm.
you're you're the epitome of what a true warrior is because I know what you've gone through in that regard. I almost had to have the same thing done myself. You know, your head, your thoughts, your walk. Who was it in your life that instilled such hard values in you, or was it the military that did that for you, brother?
No, it's my grandma. So my grandma always just said to me, she was like, if you look around and look at other people, she says you've got everyone's born with like a magic in them, and that's the belief that you can, like if you're a child, you say I want to play for Manchester United, and normal people talk that out of people. She says you need to keep that alive in you, and she says if you set your heart and mind to something and don't give in, you can achieve and be anything you ever want to be. And I've those words ring in my ear. And anything I've ever done worthy of mention has been with that. If you set in your heart to your mind to it, there's nothing you can't do. And I want to show people with ulcerative colitis, people, veterans, people with diseases, mental health issues, that if you want something enough and set your mind to it and work tirelessly towards it, that you can achieve the things you want and do the things you want. Life doesn't happen to you. You have to, like, I've got colitis. It hasn't got me.
Amen, brother. Amen. You know, this is quite an interesting question. He's a boxer, a four-time Hall of Fame photographer, works for Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. and Jr. He says because nothing nuclear will kill a cockroach, he just keeps going forward. That guy is insane. What would you like to say about that comment, mate?
Well, that's the reason behind the name. You can't kill a cockroach. It's like with my operation, I should have died twice of sepsis, morphine overdose, with respiratory arrest. Countless times I should have died in the military, and that's the name behind the cockroach. You can't kill a cockroach. I ain't going anywhere until I'm fucking world champion.
Man, I love that, mate. You know, what's your thought on that, Steve? Because I was going to ask him the same thing, but Nate Rand beat me to it. But you
Yeah,
know, your fighting style is tremendous, and you know, a lot of people are now thriving to the world of bare knuckle. If
yeah.
you had to make a statement about why the UK, why Wales and Ireland and all everybody over the pond, why they should come to Wolverhampton BYB 38 and see the cockroach step into the Trigon and perform, what would that statement be, my brother?
For me, I'm somebody who, whatever it is, I get in and roll the dice and go for it. I think some people said to me in my last fight, I should have boxed, I should have this, I should have that. It's a world title fight against a four times world champion. I'm getting in and giving it everything I possibly can, and either I win or I lose. And that's what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to get in, I'm going to give it everything I've got, and hopefully I'm going to come out victorious. If not, I'll be going out on a stretcher.
Oh, man, that's dedication, and I commend you, mate. Uh, WBC referee and I believe six-time Hall of Famer Stephen Blair says, "You know, Grandma is proud of her little badass." You know, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about from your grandma, mate?
I think my grandma would be happy. She just used to support me no matter what it was I did, and she was like, as long as you can justify the reasons why you're doing things, then I'll support you. So she was always kind of my moral compass and my moral bearing, and I think she's there watching over me when I get in there, and probably smiling to herself.
Amen. You know, I'm. If you see me, what I'm trying to do, I actually had to use my notepad today. Um, I've lost most of the use of my left arm. You know, so trying to make things work is just a little bit hard. But
You're a cockroach. You're a cockroach. You're a cockroach yourself.
well, I'm learning that today. You know, I'm learning to be inspired. Well, I'm
Yeah.
truly inspired by you because, mate, what you've done is it's impressive. I mean, I can't sit there, even though I've been through 255 surgeries. I can't say that I would have walked the path that you walked. I don't have the balls that you do, mate. You know, that takes a lot of balls to do what you do. You know, and if you don't mind, can you let's go back. You talked about when Jim and Joe, you know, you didn't know until you took your shirt off.
Yeah.
How hard was that moment for you? I mean, because you know you really wanted this.
Yeah, I wanted to fight so bad, and I just thought I genuinely was flapping, thinking that they were going to let me fight. And then when they did, overnight, then I had a massive cyst get infected on my back. It was like a fist, and they had the doctors come and see me in the morning. I couldn't lift my hands up, and they were like, "The doctors cleared you to fight," basically saying, "If you don't choose to fight, that's on you." So I thought, this is my only chance. I'm in against the European champion, Matthew Hodgson. I can't lift my arms up, but let's go for it. And yeah, I'm glad I did.
Man, I'm so honored to have you on my show, and I can't wait for this fight because, see, one thing I love is good competition, and now that
Yeah,
BYB and BKB have become one whole family, one complete organization, it's just like the true warriors are rising up. You're seeing the true aspects of the ratings and rankings come up. It's
yeah.
just I just love it, especially if your fight is just it's 50-50. And that's what I love about what they've been doing. They don't want these fights where somebody's just going to get blown the hell out of the Trigon. They're not going to deal with that. But what they're doing is
No,
they're building.
go on. The Trigon changes it as well. So in a boxing ring, maybe we would have favoured Kev more because obviously he's the pure boxer with a better experience. But in the Trigon, like obviously it changes the dynamic totally. So it's hard to say who's a favourite at all. It's who can adapt the best to being in the triangle with what's currently happening. So it's about who's the most relaxed and the most can make the most adjustments on the night in that pressurised environment, and that's what's so good about it.
Yeah, I like that. We're going to take a commercial.
Exciting.
We'll be right. Yeah, we'll take a commercial. We'll be right
Bare
back.
Knuckle Boxing returns to Wolverhampton, England on Saturday, March 22nd for BYB 38 Wolves Brawl 2. Headlined by the long-awaited rematch between champion LT Smash Nelson and Birmingham's James the Truth Kennelly for the BYB Super Middleweight Police Gazette Diamond Belt. Catch all the hard-hitting action live from the hangar. Visit BYBExtreme.com for tickets.
I love that commercial. I don't know why, I just do. It's so exhilarating that they're finally putting out media and commercials that to just grab your attention and just it truly describes bare knuckle. Wouldn't you say that, Pod? When you say it,
You can't not watch it, can you? Can't not watch it. And I think with James Kennelly and LT, I mean, I feel so privileged to be fighting on the same show as them because I watched him fight Barry Jones in Wales, and it was honestly one of the most mad things I've ever seen in my life. That was probably the best BKB show I've ever been to, and I was going mad myself like everybody else. It was brilliant. I just can't wait to be fighting on that same show, and then hopefully, if I'm not in the hospital, to watch the fight myself.
Yeah, I had the same experience, mate. I went to Tenori Irwin 1, and I didn't really much care for Mark Irwin, but when I seen a man get a hematoma,
When they had the big, yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
And his ear blew up, and he broke his jaw, fractured his everything happened to that man, but he didn't get.
No.
See, and that right there made me respect that man more than anything in the world. I could have hated that man, but any man that gives that much of his blood, his heart, and his intent to stay the world champion, even if he loses a belt, is still a champion in my book. What's your thought?
I just think that's with this sport. You can watch this sport, not know anyone's, not even know somebody's name, and after the end of one round, you're like, Jesus Christ! I mean, who is this person? And I think it's captivating because if someone's, I feel now it's gone to fighting in a Trigon. I think before you get people in BKB who wanted the kind of notoriety of fighting in it. I think BYB has got rid of them people because this is a different thing in here. This is proper. And I think if you're not what you say you are, you're getting badly hurt in this Trigon. And I think it's got rid of a lot of people who maybe would have been okay on other shows and off. Yeah, but I think it's bringing out a hardcore professional bare knuckle boxers. And I think that, which there might be other organisations, but I think the top level, credible, hardcore bare knuckle fighters are in BYB. And I think a lot of other people are looking, it's like a subculture now, a sub-faction within bare knuckle that we fight in the smallest service area. It's 3 minutes and you can clinch it. Basically, you're in there, you can't stop fighting. And I think it's the mad cunts only. That's why I love it.
You know, I'm gonna put this comment up here. I didn't know, this could be wrong, but if it is true, I do want your takeaway on it. Nate Wren says Ryan Barrett versus Tony Barrett was priceless. One of my favorite knockouts. Is that a real fight? That's a fight I didn't know.
Yeah. So that was the fight before Tony Samuels. So he was a heavyweight. He'd been on a stream of knocking everybody out as heavyweight, and he got offered the British title eliminator at lower weight. I took the fight, like, not knowing it was even. I think I got given £1,000 tickets, because normally I was living, I'd take the tickets, spend the money. So they gave me a minimum amount of tickets, and I got in, and spectacular knockout.
Man, there's a lot more to you than I ever even imagined. The more I'm finding out about you, the more I'm amazed. You know, you've had multiple walks to create, who you are today. This next fight on the 22nd in Wolverhampton is another new chapter on the walk of the Cockroach. If you had to open up the book of stories or the book of thoughts of, the Cockroach, and you got to the new chapter, the first paragraph, and you were thinking about this fight that's coming up, what would you put on those first few lines, whether it be a word, a paragraph, or a statement, my brother?
This is where you're going to see me at my best. So with all the other things, I've tried the best I could with what was going on. But this fight now, so when I finished the pod fight, I got a job. So it's the first time I've been in gainful employment since I left the Royal Marines. So I work 50 hours a week, and now I train twice a day around those 12-hour shifts. So the less, as me as an ex-Marine, the less time I've got, the more I do. So this has been me being the most diligent I've been since I came out of the Royal Marines. And it's changed my demeanour, it's changed my thoughts. My moral compass is all going back to when I was in the military. So I believe you're just going to see a very much more composed, switched on, professional demeanour, and I believe performance as well. So this is the only time in my life I've had any structure. And as someone who's an ex-Marine, I thrive off that, and I gain confidence from preparation. And this has been the most prepared, the most diligently prepared, with the less time to do things I shouldn't be doing. So I believe I'm going to be in the position to come across and give my best performance that I have against one of the toughest opponents. And I think if it came out another time, if you're not prepared against Kev, you're getting out of there quick. And we're ready for 5 rounds or less.
You know what? You did fight Tony Barrett. But you know what the crazy thing is? It's like, I look at your record, and like we said earlier, you fought some of the best in your weight class. I think this moment is going to be phenomenal for you. And I could say what I want, but, the night's going to come, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Where does Ryan Barrett start focusing in, honing down, cutting off the world as you prepare for March 22nd, my brother?
I'd say today. So today we've just done. Today's been my most focused gym session that we've done, and we did the full fight distance in 18-ounce gloves. So 5 3-minute rounds in 18-ounce gloves. Then I did 2 rounds to make it up to obviously world title distance in little bag mitts that I wear, which like mimic bare knuckle. So it's been the only time I've been fit for doing 7 3s because I've planned, my game plan has been as soon as I land, the fight's over. Whereas neglecting the ways that I've had these knockouts before, setting him up with boxing, being a sneaky really. So I've having the loss has made me realise, look at the route to getting the knockouts, and that's through boxing. And to get that against Kev, you're going to have to be there for the duration and try and trick him with something or do something, make it look like something he's seen before and it's not, which is going to be a tough game. So I need to be in there for the full amount of time, and hopefully I can do something to mislead him and land a shot that might end the fight. That's the exciting thing. I think the better boxer somebody is, the more interesting it is for me.
This is definitely. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, no, I was just curious if Ryan, when he was in the military, his training and workouts, anything you do the same for your workouts now? Like any drills?
Well, when I was in the military, I didn't box. I was all about. So I had a 6-year gap of not boxing at all. So when I made my debut, I hadn't boxed for 6 years. So I went in the Marines, and my intent was all about doing the military stuff. So no, not really. And obviously, when I was in the military, I wasn't ill with ulcerative colitis. So everything has to go around my current medical condition, my current energy condition, and things like that. So it's been difficult learning to listen to your body rather than spending a lifetime ignoring it. So that's, and again, where I've had such little time now with work, I've had to become so much more aware and so much to be able to do this fight. So it's a whole new thing, because before I didn't work or anything. So I could have 23 hours a day off and work and train 1 hour, whereas I'm at work 12 hours. I've got an hour before work, an hour after I've got to get done to be here. So we've had to adjust a lot for this fight, but I think we've done it in the right way. Well, I know we have.
Yeah. What kind of work do you do all day?
I work in demolition.
With on a machine or with your hands?
Yeah. So at the minute, so I'm like I work on a weighbridge, so weighing lorries over and off. So because I've had this fight coming, I've really had a physical role. But for me to go from not working at all to doing 60 hours a week, and then whereas before I didn't really have the energy levels to even train as a professional athlete before, but did. And now obviously adding on to it 50, 60 hours a week of work as well, it's took its toll massively on me, and we've had to make some massive adjustments. But we have done, and it's the happiest I've ever been in my life. Like, I need a routine. I gain obviously self-efficacy through working. I've always been someone who's worked my bollocks off for everything I've got, and I've got that back now. So it's this is me the most confident I've been in myself, and the most authentically me. And I think, when you're someone who's as mad as a box of frogs, authenticity is one of the most important things.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Ryan, what would you like to say to Kevin Greenwood? Usually I say it's night of the weigh-ins, you're facing off with your opponent. What goes through your mind? What would you say to Kevin Greenwood?
I really like Kev. I really get on with Kev, and I've always, since I've seen him fight in his debut, I thought to myself, you look like someone who could beat me. So I'd love to fight you if I get a chance. So for me, until the bell goes, I'm Kev's pal. And then as soon as the bell goes again, I'll be Kev's pal again.
Let me ask you this, because Brits are different than Americans, but how hard is it for you to fight a friend, a fellow mate, a fellow pal?
It's not hard at all. So when you've been in places where you've been under rules of engagement, being shot at, and you can't fire back and things like that, it's not an issue at all. I think to myself, you could be my mum in there. If she's got to go for me to get that belt, then she's going to go.
Yeah. See, that's what I love about it. When I tell you what, the correlation of Jim and Joe and now Sammy Morris jumps on the shows from time to time. I really love Sammy.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Well, see, I'm originally from, I did bare knuckle and stuff before it was even legal here. I did it over
Mm.
the pond, and even Julian Lane, a lot of people from here used to go over the pond and fight in bare knuckle. And how happy are you to see it transition from, like we say, from the backyard to the ring? But how has it been for the Europeans to go from the hay bales to the
It's,
Trigon?
it's 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 brilliant, and I think people like myself are helping change people's perception of it away from travellers and e-bales and car parks. Like I'm a veteran who's suffering with, and I'm trying to convey the sport in a positive way because it's been such a positive thing for me in my life, and it's such a positive outlet for me. And I think like the fact now that it's in America and being shown, people are gonna see more and more, get more insight on this about people, and it's going to take you away from the preconceived ideas that people have got that are just morons or whatever. And I think you're going to get an insight to people. And I think because bare knuckle boxing is such a different extreme side of things, you're going to realise perhaps what you thought you knew about fighters you don't really know. And I think that's captivating for anybody.
Yeah. That's why I like to do my show this way, and that's why I do them live, because people are only. I'd rather have you answer my questions out of your mouth and not me cut it down or, give it in my words. And yeah, you're going to
Yeah,
have technical difficulties like we did today, but the interview still went on. I can cut it down and do whatever, but then you take away from it. What I think is the greatest attribute for me is I'm a real bare knuckle fan. In the beginning I really wasn't. I kind of loved it, appreciated it, but now the way it's growing is phenomenal. Tremendous fighters like yourself are showing up and proving to the world that this sport is not only here, it's here to stay. And it's growing
yeah.
fast.
And you're getting high level operators coming from professional. Whereas before it was like could have been anyone from the pub doing it. And then you look at them and you think, fair play to you, I admire your guts and your toughness or whatever. But now you're thinking you're getting people come ex top level professional boxers fighting with no gloves on. It's just a whole different ball game. It's a whole different sport, and I think it's so much more exciting than glove boxing. I love
I
it.
love it. I love it. Especially it's a lot better now that, because what they truly did is they did away with a lot of the Deca Hagies and other people like that over the pond that were trying to create a name for themselves but would never fight. I've seen Deca
Yeah.
fight, and he would never last 10 minutes in the Trigon. But I'm not taking
No,
nothing
no.
from him. But
No, and I think the Trigon now is, like I say, it's a subfraction of bare knuckle where dip your toe in it, if at your own peril. Because if you ain't ready, if you're not at the level that it requires, you're out of there quick.
Yeah. Ryan, let me
And
see.
again, my hands.
Yeah, I want to see these tattoos on your hands.
That's it. On the knuckles there it says "Don't quit." On this one it says "Feed, believe, starved out," and this one says "No heart, no hope," and it says "Fuck you" on the back there. Fuck you.
No,
kind of like me.
no heart.
That one
Yeah, no
says
heart, no hope.
that one says fear me, and this one above it says fuck you.
Yeah. I seen that on a
Well,
film. So someone who was about to get shot, and he was like, "Have you got anything you want to say?" And he was like, "Fuck you." So I had it done. I thought it was brilliant.
fucking brilliant, man. I'm dying. You know, mate, I really just want to ask you one more question, and we'll kind of let Steve
Yeah.
wrap things up because I didn't realize we've been
Okay.
on here
Cool.
for almost a damn hour now. Um,
Yeah.
this path that you're walking on it's just wonderful. It's tremendous, and I'm glad you're finding who you are and where you need to be on this path. But let's say it's the end of the night. You just got through having your last training session before the fight in Wolverhampton, BKB 38 on
Yeah.
February 20, March 22nd, I think. And you go to turn the light off. And at that brief moment, you look at yourself in the mirror and you get a brief reflection. into the man. Who do you see, my brother?
Do you know what? Do you know me? I see me. I'm daft as a brush. I don't take much serious. This is something I do take serious. I think I'm someone who's like happy-go-lucky, non-confrontational, not non-violent in normal life, but I like fucking fighting. This is who I am, and I think on the day I'm being me, and you see that, and that's why I say when you're mad, you need to be authentically you, and when I get in there, that is me. And I think, Joe, I walk around normal life, and Joe, like on the film, I see people everywhere, and I think to myself, fuck me. Like, I can't wait to get in and do some serious, or attempt to do some serious harm when I get a chance. Because normal life, I think, is very frustrating when you've been in someone in the military. It don't make any sense. And I think getting in and having a fight with someone who's intent on doing you harm makes sense to me. And I absolutely love it. And I get a chance to be free however many times I get to do it. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can, because I think you're a long time sat here, a miserable old bastard thinking, I mean, I wish I could smash someone's face in, but I can't anymore.
Man, I respect. I respect the hell out of you, man. You're a good dude, man. You can come on my show anytime you want. I feel bad that I'm not in 100% shape, but man, you can come on my show anytime. You can come on my show anytime you want, mate.
Thank
Steve,
you.
is there anything you want to add?
I just want to hear Ryan's future, what he thinks he sees himself in 3 years from today, and also the main event, LT USA versus James Conley. Who he thinks is going to take that fight?
Well, I train. Well, we used to train a lot with James Kennelly. Mike Kennelly used to be my coach. I've stayed in Mike's house when his kids have given up their beds for me to stay there. So I'm Team Kennelly. I think there's not a better, more consummate professional in the world than James Kennelly. So I'm going with James Kennelly. And me in 3 years' time, I couldn't tell you where I'll be. I can tell you where I'll be next week. I couldn't really tell you where I'll be on the Sunday after, though. On the day after. So 3 years is a bit long, but I hope to be on the winning end of a brilliant fight come next Sunday.
Absolutely.
Nice.
You know,
I can't predict too much further than that.
No, but you know, I'm with you, mate. You know, a lot of people are going to get mad at me for making this statement, but I absolutely love James Kennelly. I mean, I do too, and I think he's got one of his best opponents in LT Smash. They've gone to a draw before. I think between that fight and your fight, the pond's going to be jumping, bro. It's going to be banging over there in Wolverhampton because
I think so. I think mine and Kev's fight should be co-main event.
I do too. I think this card is just freaking wild, bro. But you know what?
Yeah,
I think
they're all good fights, to be fair.
But what I think you guys are doing, and correct me if I'm wrong, because a lot of the Americans really didn't understand BKB when they conjoined with BYB in the beginning, and you know, and started growing here in the States. But they didn't know the players from across the pond. They knew the fighters from BYB here in the States. But now you guys are starting to show up, but what you guys are doing, you're making an aspect, a name for yourself.
You've got to win, haven't you? You've got to win. You've got to win, and you've got to win spectacularly for people to get to know you. And I think there's people who are doing. You've got to get in and beat an American for any Americans to take notice of you. And I think we're getting a chance to do that now, and or to compete against them. And I think that's brilliant. That's the only way you're going to get known in America, by beating one of them.
That's right.
See, that's what I love, and that's what. Yeah, man, like Dave Caveman Rickles said it on one of my shows about 5 years ago. I got a freaking war boner, bro, because because the Brits are showing up and shelling out. So, and you can get mad at me.
The same when I got.
I mean, I'm not talking about
fight against. Yeah, it was when I got offered the fight against Trilio. I thought, fucking hell, this is like when you get who wants to go on Operation Certain Death? Me. I thought, what a chance to go around and fight in America. And I'm going to go and stick it right on the cunt and let the chips fall where they may. And I never got a chance to. But like I say, I know for a fact Pod's got this big fight in America. Pod is somebody like me. On the night, he's giving it fucking everything. And win or lose, everyone will know who Dan Podmore is after this show in America. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I hear, mate. I agree with you, but I'm like you. It's just I just am so excited that it's growing, and you guys are getting the opportunity to shine. Because before, don't take this wrong. I mean, because bare knuckles been over the pond for a long time, and Americans just really didn't pay attention to it. But now they've woken up America, and the world is waking up to it. And I think it's tremendous. I get a lot of phone calls from a lot of previous world champions, some that are still current world champions in the MMA world and boxing world, asking me, what's it going to take to get into the bare knuckle world? And, I tell 90% of them, 99.9 of them, I said, you're not going to get the money that you want, because they come over thinking they're going to get $100,000. That's not going to happen. But see, here's the philosophy. And I love this philosophy that Mike Vasquez and others have put out there. They say, you may be a world champion in boxing. You may be a world champion in MMA, but this is bare knuckle.
Yeah, you ain't doing shit bare knuckle.
Yeah, you're gonna come in and you're gonna start.
It's a different sport.
Everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different sport. And how many world champions have you seen get fucking weighed straight in because they've come over thinking it means something? It don't. This is what fucking counts. And I've got as much chances as the next man.
Yeah, and you know what I like, Don, when Ryan says that Gustavo, he would fight him anytime. Not too many people want to fight Gustavo.
No, that's exactly why I wanted it. I was like, fucking hell. Yeah, let's go.
I love that. I love that.
Well, see,
it's a true warrior. You want to fight the best. You want
exactly. Yeah. If you're saying you want to be a champion, why do you not want to go and fight the person who is? That's exactly what the fight I want. And like I say, if I go out and win, I'm good enough to be a champion. If I go out and lose, you're not quite good enough. But at least at least you've gone out and pitted yourself against the best. And I just know one thing. Whatever, I will go out and fucking conduct myself in a manner that I'll be exceptionally proud of against anybody, because this is in me. This is me. This is authentically me. I'm a fighting man, and I don't give a fuck who you are, what you've done. If you're in my weight class and you're a champion, I mean, we've got to fight.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see that.
Oh, you and me both. Ladies and gentlemen, you can catch Kevin Greenwood and the Cockroach, February 22nd, or March 22nd. I lost a month. March 22nd in Wolverhampton, West Midlands, UK. I would suggest you get your tickets now, because if you don't buy tickets now, I imagine they're probably already sold out, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think, Ryan? Yeah, because
I think so.
I love that about when I used to shoot fights over there, mate. That's one thing I did love is you guys show up in thousands upon thousands. And it's like I go to an event here. I mean, the fights that I shot were big because I was at the top of my career. But, man, when you show up to an event in the UK, you got hundreds of thousands of people there sometimes, man. It's like, it's just a different.
Yeah, it's because we're representing the nameless and faceless, aren't we? And I think in a stage that people like I'm just the same as everybody from around here, other than I can fight, and they're probably much better whatever they do. But we represent the nameless and faceless, and we're on a show with people who in America who everybody knows. So people get behind that.
Yes, brother. What would you like to say to the world about what they can expect on March 22nd, BYB 38?
When me and Kev fight, don't go for a piss.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Steve, you want to say anything before we let this great lad go?
As Mike Goldberg would say, here we go.
Most definitely.
Thanks very much,
Hey, man, I want to, before I let you go, we're going to settle this before we let you go real quick. Everybody here all of my homies over there across the pond get mad at me because a biscuit, and this has nothing to do with bare knuckle, But please explain to the people what's the difference between a biscuit in the UK and a biscuit in the United States.
I've got no idea what a biscuit in the United States is, but a biscuit in the UK is like a hobnob, a chocolate hobnob, a rich tea biscuit, like it you dip in your coffee. I don't know what a biscuit is in America.
In America, a biscuit is nothing. Yours is sweet. Your guys, it's
Yeah,
yours is more like a cookie, and
yeah,
ours is
that's
just
exactly it. It's the cookie.
yeah, ours is like a soft, floury pastry, and it's not even sweet. It's just buttery. It's forever
Sounds
everybody
shit.
because well, I got friends in Wales that give me crap all the time because I said I had biscuits in the gravy, and they said, "Why would you put gravy over sweet cookies, mate?"
Yeah, it makes no sense.
But brother, like I said, you're more than honored to come on my show anytime you want. Go out there and show the world why
Thank you very
you
much.
why
I will.
you're here. You inspire me, man, because you know what? I couldn't get up and do what you do, even if I could. Keep inspiring the world, keep showing the world that no matter what, nothing can hold you back and nothing can slow you down. With that being said, mate, have a good night and stay blessed and fucking rock the world, bro. Rock the world. Just show them what you're about, and then let's get back in there on a main event with Big Pod down the road.
That's the plan. Thank you very much,
All right.
gents. Thank you for having me on the
Thanks,
show.
Ryan. Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you,
Cheers,
brother.
thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah. So this is going to be a banger over there. I wish I was going.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed because I wouldn't fight with a colostomy. I wouldn't, but that guy's got balls of steel. I mean, because
I agree with you. It's it's very different for sure. We've seen, it's like when you take a physical, if you're a woman, they say, "Oh, are you pregnant? Oh, you're pregnant. You can't fight." This particular, I guess it's like sort of like a discrimination thing. You can't discriminate against someone that wants to fight. They're perfectly healthy. I saw the commission tell a guy to do push-ups. And they're like, "You look weak," and he's like, "I'm not weak," because he had like starved himself for like a few days. So they just wanted to see if he can do the physical training. So I guess if he can punch, all the power to him for sure. And it's an inspiration, like you were saying. It's you could do anything in this world. You can even be a bare knuckle boxer.
yeah, it's amazing. I think he's the first one in the world, and I commend him for it. But I really like his attitude. I really like his spot.
He said there was another guy that did it.
What was there?
Yeah.
But I love his personality and his perseverance, and I mean he's so. See, what's weird is these guys are used to this. The only thing they had to change is the dirty clinch and the extra minute.
Yeah.
And it's like, but now they're adapting to it, and I think this is what's going to be a game changer for BKB is because our fights are already 50-50 now, but now you got European fighters getting the exposure and coming up, and they're calling out our world champions in the States. So you're going to see bigger and better fights. It's just going to continually growing in that regard, in that aspect. And I tell you what, I'm excited about it because the fights, the cards, everything for the rest of the year is just looking phenomenal. I can't wait for some of these fights to happen. We can't tell everybody everything in the future, but hell, we've already got it, I think, all the way to 41 already listed out there publicly. So BKB is doing just about 2 shows a month or pretty much simultaneously, even though we just came off a 28-day month. If you go back to a 31-day cycle, then we technically are doing 2 fights a month for the rest of the year. And that's phenomenal. And I mean, back-to-back overseas. We just came off back-to-back overseas, and then we're going to be in Myrtle Beach after Wolverhampton. It's just things are just exploding. It's a great place to be in the world of bare knuckle right now.
Yeah, I'm
With
just
that
looking
being,
forward. I'm looking forward to see Smash fight again. So, that's going to be some fight, and it's just two guys that are not willing to lay down. It's
you know,
it's
I can get in trouble for this, but I think you're a fool if you don't watch the fight. I really do. I think you're a fool if you don't watch the fight. But I could literally, I'm literally gonna put my ass on the limb, but I I have to go with Canelli. There's just something, and I know I'm not supposed to, but I mean, me and Canelli are friends. I respect Canelli. We went to a draw the first time, and you know what? I think it's just going to be one of the greatest bare knuckle fights in bare knuckle history. I mean, that's just all I could really say. I mean,
that's all we wish for. That's it.
oh yeah, I think this is gonna. I think this is gonna, really make Tenori Irwin one look like a bookmark. I really have that feeling that this fight, because I don't see either one of them giving up, and after the last situation, and now them fighting over, across the pond. Canelli's on his home soil. LT's fought over there before. The Brits love him. It isn't going to make a difference for him, but I tell you what, fighting on home soil, if I was Canelli, that's the greatest gift of all. But LT's loved over there too. So this is, I have to agree with you. This is probably going to be the greatest bare knuckle fight thus far in bare knuckle fighting history. It's just going to be amazing. Get your tickets at. I'm so confused on this because I have to go and check. But as far as I know, you get your tickets at bybextreme.com. I would get them now because I don't even think any of the fighters have tickets left. But if you want to go, it's going to be. I think they still have standing room only and other things. I would get them now before they're completely sold out, because every one of our shows has been selling out, and we've been even selling out on the standing room only and everything. It's just the world is falling in love with bare knuckle, and that's why we decided to bring it to you each and every show. Steve, anything you want to say before we get out of here, brother?
Yeah, they can get tickets on that website or bkbbareknuckle.com, bkbbareknuckle.com. And I wish I was going. I wish everyone a safe fight. And that's all you can wish for is a nice good fight, and everyone get out with not hurt too bad.
Most definitely. On that note, have a good day and God bless.
Deuces.